Okay, I'm back. So the topic this week is personal victimization. So there's a lot to talk about in here, and I want to make sure that you understand this for your test. So moving through these, let me see if I can get on this. There we go. Okay. Make sure you understand all the facts and figures and data about homicide because, of course, everybody's interested in homicide, and you should know what some of the challenges are and some of the definitions of what we actually consider to be homicide in law enforcement and psychology. And I really want you to pay attention to the gender and especially the racial disparities that occur when we investigate and actually look at homicide victims and basically what we do about it and how it's getting better or worse, and be able to write about that on an exam. So do know those disparities. I'm just flipping through the slides here. And I especially want you to know the odds that this could happen and the odds that that could happen. Those are also good things to put in your test. And then the victimization. So all of the precursors and some of the studies and what the CDC has found as well. So make sure you know all those different things. Make sure you know the distinctions about the various types of homicide. I think that's on slide 7. So that's important to know. And then we go into assault. Make sure you know the definitions in the slides. These are slides 8 and 9 on all the different types of distinctions between like aggravated assault, simple assault, and all of the data that goes with that. Then we head on into robbery. Make sure you know the definitions of robbery and all the different types of robbery that are occurring and what the data, especially down over here, what the data say about the types of robberies that occur. So you want to make sure you've got all of those things as well to get that on the test. You also want to be able to talk about personal crime impact and how that affects people and what the loss of income is and what the financial cost is when you're looking at all these different types of crime. We already know about the emotional loss and things like that, but there's also big financial losses that are important to note. And then we go into the theories of victimization. So what I want you to get from this is to know the different theories, know the different parts of the theories. These are why personal victimization occurs, and you should be able to pick one or two that you really think is going on and be able to defend that in a test. And there's a lot of different theories. We're going to talk about these more when you get to violence and aggression, because they really come to the forefront then. So some of these are very interesting. I want to draw your attention to the subculture and regional culture of violence theories. These are theories that state that certain parts of the country are just more prone to violence, and they give some studies. One study that they did was Gaskell did a study, and it was kind of a confounded study, so didn't hold through the test of time. However, we do still have a lot of studies that show that there are different regional pronunciations for different types of crime. So some parts of the country are especially higher in different types of crime, and especially violent crime. This is the Gaskell study that I was telling you about. So make sure you can look at some of those kinds of things and see what's happening. And these are just some of the charts that go along with it, and be able to discuss that when you have the test, which I think will be the first week of April. So here's some of the challenges that we have when we start looking at those types of crime. Make sure you understand those. And then the medical model of crime, which looks at how crime affects medicine and how the two are interrelated, and how we count crime and all these public health matters when it comes to crime. And these are the different types of definitions that medical looks at, and that has a great bearing on how we define and prosecute different types of crime as well. And then if you're going to work with individuals who have suffered these types of crime, you have to know about what they've been through, what medical things they've gone through, and what the emotional things that they've gone through as well. So you have to look at all of these different things. How do you assist the victim, especially talking about death notification? I do spend usually a lot of time on death notifications. You'll be able to understand what that is and why that's important to victimology. And it shows what the survivors go through and how they go through the bereavement process. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross is the leading researcher when it comes to looking at death, understanding death and bereavement. As an aside, a funny aside, when I graduated from college, she was the speaker for my graduating class, so kind of cool. But anyway, here's her grief cycle. She's very famous, and her book was called On Death and Dying. So she lays it out, all of the different patterns and stuff for bereavement. So it's important that you understand this, because no matter what field you go into, you will have to understand this thing. So these are all important for the test for you to understand. So I hope that helps. And if you have any questions, as always, you can contact me. Good luck with finishing up your major field projects this week. And I will see you next week with another video. Stay strong. It's a great day to be a dragon.